Alright, I believe it's finally time to go in this trailer. At long last. Hello. Q. Q's command trailer is strangely peaceful. The crew of systems experts that formerly manned the multitude of terminals inside are nowhere to be found, and the omnipresent hum of the trailer's computer banks has fallen silent. The senior inspector glances up from her desk, half turning to face you. Good to see you're here. The sentence trails to nothing as she squeezes her eyes shut, wincing. Her hand goes up to rub her temples. I can give you a minute if you want. No, it's okay. It's just this damned migraine. She rubs her temples with both hands. Feels like someone's lit a fire behind my eyes. Nobody has as many headaches as you do. That drain still bothering you? That's one way of putting it. Feels like it's driving a railroad spike through my temples. She gives her head an agitated shake. The necklace that I was wearing didn't help matters much. Damn thing masked my aura just fine, but it wasn't particularly easy to carry. What, was it cursed or something? No, it's just hurt to use. Like looking through lenses ground into someone else's prescription. It made the drain from spellcasting hurt more, too. Truth is, I've been in constant pain for the past couple of months, cost of doing business, I guess. That's why you're so short-tempered? Well, some of that's just me, but the pain didn't help any. I'm still recovering from the impact of wearing that thing for months on end, and I soaked up some nasty drain breaking us out of that trap. I'm not at 100%, and I probably won't be for months. Maybe we should wait until you've recovered. We'll be safe here until then. She shakes her head. No way. We've got to make a move in the next couple of days, tops. If we wait until I'm fully healed, say a month or two, it might be too late. It's fair to assume that Crate's client has some sort of agenda, one that's hostile to Mitsuhama's interests. I have to get to the bottom of this before they can achieve it. Good thing we have that PDA then, huh? She shakes her head to clear it, gritted her teeth with discomfort. We've got a job to do, handyman. Headache or no, I intend to do it. Alright, let's get to it then. You fish Lamb's PDA out of the evidence bag. That Q had you put it in. The device is in bad shape, its case warped and bent, but the screen winks at your command. The display is streaked with Lamb's dried blood. It looks like red gelatin, thin and watery. You can just make out the text underneath. Browse the PDA's file system. Lamb, Andy, secure mailboxes. Inbox 2, outbox 3, so on and so forth. A lot of junk mail. Dear Lord. Let's look the junk mail folder, yay! Lamb's junk mail folder is packed to the gills with all manner of unsolicited messages. Scam mail, advertisements from everything from illicit drugs to designer electronics, and countless pornographic images fill the screen. It'd take days to sort through all this for anything useful, and searching by trial and error would most likely expose the PDA to a host of nasty worms and viruses. Ugh. Remind me to never open my own junk folder. Search the junk mail folder for tagged messages. So we need to actually have a tag. Alright, live chat folder. Oh, chat about handyman. Let's read the exchange. Is it with me? Did you authorize a second mind probe of Finch while he was unconscious? I'm looking at the transcript of the interview, and he insists that 2 mages were screwing around in his brain last night. No. I was against you having him scanned in the first place, remember? Why would I give the authorization for 2 different mages to poke around in his brain? So that's Q lying to him, because Q was the second mage. I don't know, maybe you wanted 2 sets of findings to check against one another. I know that you have trust issues where magic is concerned. I didn't authorize anything, Lamb. And unless we have a second magical interrogator that I don't know about on the task force, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he's making it up. So, what? You just want to dismiss this? You don't think it warrants further investigation? In a perfect world, I'd tell you to knock yourself out. But right now, in the world that we live in, there's no time for that. We're too close to Crate to go hunting for a mystery mage who may or may not exist. The Council doesn't want any more delays, Lamb. Neither does Mitsuhama. So drop it and do your job. I don't want to have to tell corporate about this. Alright, Fee, you win. For now. But this discussion isn't over. Yeah, Lamb, it is. Keep going, handyman. Let's see what else there is to see. So that was redundant because it was just their conversation with each other, but fun little background at least. And she got to have her little last word there because he dead as fuck. Inbox. First and second messages, package delivery and standing orders. Alright, first message. Recovered PDA. Package delivery. To, from Wallace Koo. Everything is ready on our end. Now you need to hold up on your end of the deal. The package has to be delivered before the wildcard leaves the evidence room, or this whole thing is going to get messy. So this is talking about delivering a package while we are in the evidence room trying to investigate, because they're trying to kill us and trap us. I'm the package, I guess. Making me the wildcard. She rolls her eyes. What an idiot. If he wanted to speak in code, he could have been a little less obvious about it. If things do get messy, it's your ass, Lamb. Crate wants to do this by the numbers, and that means both the package and the wild card caught in the same trap. We can't chance the package catching a bullet before we can question her, and a firefight in the hallway could raise questions. You know your job, do it well, and you'll get what you were promised. Koo. Things didn't go the way they'd planned. Crate must be pissed. I hope she's furious. Hell, I hope she chokes on it. Second message. Standing orders from Crate. Oh, the baddie. Mr. Lamb, as much as I appreciate your concern for the citizens of Hong Kong, it is not your place to question my tactics. The behavior of the SDU is none of your concern. The changes that you hope to see will never come about while Mitsuhama is viewed favorably by the Executive Council. Our client wants to see its reputation tarnished, and a certain amount of heavy-handedness on our part is necessary to make that happen. It's all a part of the plan, Senior Inspector. If you do your job, and you let me do mine. Crate. Alright. So that's where Crate and her people come into this. The massacre at the end of the Kowloon City riots, the police brutality that led to the riots in the first place, they're all intended to hurt Mitsuhama's PR. What's the end goal? Why would anyone spend this much money to tank the reputation of their own police force? The message said something about charges. It was pretty hazy on the details, though. Yeah, hazy. Let's keep reading. Alright. Let's search the outbox then. Who is he contacting? First message, okay, I'm in. From Andy to Wallace Koo again. Alright, Koo, I've reconsidered your proposal, and I want in. You were right. Q is a lost cause. She's corporate to the bone. Trying to argue with her is like talking to a brick wall. She doesn't give a damn about what the HKPF is supposed to stand for. All that matters to her is the company's bottom line. It's weird having a scroll bar that's really rare. Oh, fuck you, you little weasel. At least I don't turn my own people in for a paycheck. It's funny. I used to be such an idealist. I joined the HKPF because I wanted to help people. But that isn't what this organization is about. Whatever the recruiters say, good cops don't have a place in Mitsuhama's police force. The corporate culture of the HKPF either changes them if they're weak, or chews them up if they're strong. Either way, they wind up broken. And I can't be part of that machine anymore. The big change you're talking about is a chance to fix things, a real, honest-to-God chance. And so, as much as I hate your commands, your methods, I'm going to help you. I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it because I want the HKPF to be better. And this is a chance to make that happen. A remote chance, maybe, but it's better than nothing. Sounds like he's expecting some sort of shake-up within the HKPF. Her frown deepens. Yeah, seems that way. Tell Crate I'm in. I can bring you Q, and I can help you dismantle the task force. But you should know that if you've been bullshitting me, if things don't change for the better, I'm coming after you. You can count on that. Threatening a mage like Koo is rarely a good idea. Lam would have gotten himself killed if he tried anything. Still, we learned something else here. Lam was convinced that Crate and her people were working towards some sort of shake-up at the HKPF, a big change. What kind of change do you think they're talking about? Not sure yet. I don't want to speculate until we've pulled out everything out of this PDA that we can. Let's keep reading. See what else we can turn up. Alright, second message. Justice. From Andy Lamb to Irene Tong. Irene, I know that you have every reason to hate the police, but hear me out. What happened to your family was wrong. I'm going to do everything I can to make this right. I can't bring your husband back, but I can help make sure that the constables who killed him pay for their crime. Big changes are coming, I promise. Between then and now, please allow me to cover your mortgage payments. I've recently come into a large sum of money, and I want you to have it. Consider it a good, show of good faith until I can bring you the justice that you deserve. Lamb. I don't know anything about this, she frowns. Must have been related to some old case of Lamb's, from before he got assigned to the task force. Or maybe it was a personal thing? A friend of his, or a romantic interest. It was someone he cared about, that much is clear. Sounds like Lamb blamed HKPF culture for this woman's tragedy. Personal crusades have been started for less. Yeah, sure. Grouping up the peoples responsible for the Kowloon City massacre out of guilt, though? She shakes her head. What kind of ass-backward thinking is that? Maybe he felt the ends justified the means. The whole thing raises more questions than it answers. Let's keep going. There has to be more in here for us to find. Third message. Message has been corrupted. A meaningless stream of garbled text fills the screen. Well, that's not great. Huh. ZZXDSE. ZZXDSE. Nope. Justice. Nope. Alright. Trash bin. A little digging reveals a file buried in the PDA's trash can. It looks like Lamb intended to get rid of it, but he died before he got around to pulling the trigger on it. Read the uncovered file. From crate to Andy Lamb, instructions / next steps. Mr. Koo tells me that you've accepted our offer. Welcome aboard. Once you've delivered Q, report to me, and we'll have to relocate to the Taipo facility. You'll be safe there. We have the location under 24-hour guard for obvious reasons. From here on out, all that you need to do is keep your head down and count your money. You keep up on your end, and you're soon to be very wealthy and an influential man. If Crate's client, whoever it is, was something worth guarding in Taipo, then that's what we need to check out next. Let's keep going. This is good intel, but we need to get everything out of this PDA we can. There's still more to get? Let's see. I should look for a keyword I could search, right? STU, crate, Mitsuhama. Just thinking of things we could search for here. STU, Mitsuhama, maybe. Junk mail? STU. Mitsuhama. Oh, come on, it's a corporation. How is there no email from a corporation in there? It's spam. Anyway, outbox. Right, that's the corrupted one. Irene Tong. And P004. P004. 004. Tong. Irene. Alright. Let's see here. One last thing to check. Crate. Just had to remind myself really briefly of the name. I've been really bad at remembering that name whenever I have to think of it myself. Nope. Alright, I don't have a lot of ideas here. I think that's everything we're getting. She accepts the device, a grim expression on her face. Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe you're right. Q turns the PDA over in her hand, then flips off the device's power switch. The screen flickers and dies. She rubs her eyes, drawing your attention to the dark hollows underneath them. Alright, so here's what we've got. Creightoner people are working for someone powerful and rich. Probably a megacore, but we don't know who. They're trying to tank Mitsuhama's reputation with the Executive Council so they can bring about some kind of exchange inside the HKPF, and they've got a facility in Taipo that they're keeping under heavy guard. Sounds about right to me. It isn't much, is it? We don't even know who we're fighting against. It's enough. We even know where we're going next, Taipo. You're right. That's where we'll find our answers. She runs her tongue over her lips, wetting them. We need a plan. We can't just go in blind. Call in the big guns. Talk to Mitsuhama Corporate. My credibility with them is more or less bottomed out at this point, but I'll see what I can do. You go back to your boat and inform the rest of your team. I'll call you when I know more. Alright, I'll go talk to him. Good. I'll be in touch. Alright. We have a location to head to at the very least. It's something to work with. Let's go meet up with everybody and tell everyone what's going on. Hey again, welcome back. You find anything of use? Nope. But we know where we're going. Crate's client has a warehouse in Taipo that the SDU is guarding. That's not what I was hoping to hear. I don't like going into a fight without knowing who I'm up against. We're trying to bring the Executive Council into it. They might be able to help. Somehow I doubt it'll be that easy, my friend. These things seldom are, but perhaps... Your PDA buzzes, cutting him off. Q. Answer the call. Q's face flickers onto the PDA view screen. She looks haggard, even more so than before. The call was a bust, handyman. I've still got a few execs willing to go to bat for me, but the rest have already written us off as a failure. Nobody's gonna risk sparking a core war on my say-so, and I can't even tell them who they'd be fighting against. We're gonna need a hell of a lot more than we've got if we're gonna convince anyone to move on this. I guess we're heading to Taipo. Yeah, looks that way. She lets out a long sigh. Look, handyman, I told you that you and your team would be well compensated for helping me, but I never really specified exactly what your reward would be. I think that you should know. You've got my attention? We'll start with the bad news. I can't put a monetary value on what your team will receive. Truth be told, I'm gonna have to wrestle with corporate to get them much of anything. A lot of the cost of renting out the Benteng come out of what we had set aside for your reward. Excuse me? What? You'll still get paid, I promise you that. It just won't be enough to retire on. Nothing I can do about it, that's just the way it has to be. Gobbet crosses her arms over her chest, a disgusted look on her face. Yeah, I'm sure it is. We never should have trusted. Q's voice cuts in, talking over her. As for you, handyman, you're a different story. For you, I've got something better than money. This better be good. It is. I can get your sin restored. Duncan's too. I can give you your old lives back. Holy shit. That's right. Imagine the doors that'll open for you. You can return to Seattle, pretend that none of this ever happened. Hell, you can do whatever you want, and you can do it completely above board. What I'm offering you is the freedom to make your own choices again, the same freedom that Crate and Josephine Sang and Kindly Chang took away from you. Anyway, I wanted you to know that what's on the line before you head to Taipo. She rubs her eyes stretches. I'm gonna get my kit ready. I'd recommend that you do the same. I'm on it. Let's finish this. Go to Jomo when you're ready. He'll sneak us into Taipo, and we'll bring this thing to a close. Oh, and handyman, I can't promise that we'll come back to the Benteng after this is over. Take in the sights now, because it might be the last chance you get. Got it. I'll see you at Jomo's boat. She begins to look away, then seems to think better of it. The camera refocuses on her face. Oh, and, handyman? Your boss's rock, that Kong that you took from Eddie Pang, got broken in the move. I found it in about 50 pieces when we got here. It's in the basket under my desk if you still want it, but I can't imagine it's worth much anymore. Sorry about that. The video feed crackles and dies. Q's face winks off your PDA and the display goes dark. Well, this presents us with something of a conundrum, my friend. He takes a drag of his cigarette and slowly releases the smoke through his nostrils. Koshi paws the ground. If this payment goes through, your shadowrunning days with this team are over. With a sin, you would be a liability. You could perhaps remain in Haoi, but you'd need to find a different line of work. A difficult decision. I'll have to put some thought into it. See that you do. For now, we have a job to prepare for. Kindly Cheng wishes us to complete this task, and so we will, payday or no. This conspiracy could pose a threat to the Yellow Lotus, and we cannot say with certainty whether it does or not until we enter the warehouse in Taipo. You're right, get ready. We've got a secure facility to raid. Alright. Time to go make a mess. Alright, so finding out that we can get our sins back is kind of a big deal. So we might as well check in with various members of the crew to find out, you know, there's probably context, a little bit of dialogue related to this. When you enter the room, you find Duncan's back to you, his head leaned up against the wall. Around him are a few dents, seems like he's been venting. He hears you enter and turns around, a small red spot on his forehead from when it was resting on a scowl so large it practically covers the entire bottom of his face. Well, that was a clusterfuck. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, though. It always seems to turn out this way, doesn't it? Someone stabs us in the back. Guess that's just a fact of life in the shadows. I'm surprised you're not used to it by now. And you are? Is betrayal something you can ever get used to? A stab in the back might eventually heal into a scar, but it still hurts like hell when it happens. Sure, we'd get cheated and double-crossed back in the Barrens, it happened. But every time it happens now, it feels like a reminder of how far we've fallen. Pull yourself together, we're still here. We're still alive, and that's all that matters. Duncan's barrel chest heaves, and he grinds his teeth together, the sound of tusks rocking forward and back like a sandpaper on pavement. A slow, tired laugh escapes his lips. You're starting to sound like the old man, you know that? That little speech was vintage Raymond Black. As much as I hated his pep talks, they always seemed to help. Did you do something to your room? It feels different? Duncan leans his head back, a puzzled look on his face. No? He looks around the cabin. No. What are you talking about? I'm not sure. It just got really cold in here, though. Duncan pulls off his goggles and looks around him. I don't feel anything. What's wrong with you? I don't want to freak you out, but I think we're in trouble. You can see Duncan's irritation growing. The muscles of his neck tense up. What the hell are you telling me? Spit it out, Grotto. Well, I heard a couple sailors talking about some mysterious drownings around here. It sounded like they were saying a poltergeist was behind the murders. He leans away from you and grows, grabs his face in his hands and talks to the floor. Are you shitting me? A ghost? As in, not the kind of spirit that Gobbet summons, but an actual dead person with rattling chains and a white sheet over his head. Look, Grotto, the sixth world is a strange place, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not about to fall for this half-assed prank of yours. I'm done. Get out. Whisper. Shh. Did you feel that? It's just the window. I probably left it open. Now stop this. Duncan, you don't have any windows in here. He stops himself and turns to examine the walls. No windows. You watch him return his tongue nervously across his bottom teeth. This is bullshit. There's no such thing as... Grab him. It's the ghost! Duncan reels backwards, almost tripping over the dilapidated floorboards and slams into the wall with a thud. His expression changes from shifts from horror to an embarrassed fury that you haven't seen since you were kids. Motherfucking fuck! He leaps to his feet and roars at you. Get out! Not an idiot, huh? His voice suddenly drops in volume to a menacing whisper. Leave now. You can tell he's crossed to the point of no return. There's no reasoning with him. Leave. All you can hear behind you is the heavy panting of Duncan as he watches you walk away. He's supposed to be people that grew up with each other. That's the kind of bullshit you would pull. Hello, Isabel. I'm gonna give Duncan some space before I ask about the last run. Oops, she's jacked in again. Isabel leans back against the octopus, her neck tilted back so that her head can rest on a thick rope of twisted wires and cables. Her misty white persona stares down at you from a wall-mounted display. Her persona's white eyes look back at you. With her hands on hips, she leans forward. Can't talk right now, handyman. I'm busy. Real busy. I'll take your word for it. I'll talk to you later. Probably just gonna come back to her in a second. Gobbet? You enter Gobbet's cabin to find her gulping something from a chipped plastic mug. As the mug's contents slosh and churn, a sharp antiseptic note stings your nostrils. She glances up from her drink and locks eyes with you. The pirates make this. I think it's a kind of whiskey. She frowns down at the mug. I don't know what they make it from, but it tastes like salty turpentine. Why are you drinking it? Because I need a drink, and this stuff kicks like a mule. I mean, it's definitely swill, but it's powerful swill. You want some? No. Thanks, but no thanks. I prefer my turpentine without salt. She shrugs and tosses back the remaining liquid. A few seconds later, a fit of barking cough shakes her chest, and her eyes begin to water. She rubs at them with her knuckles, gasping for air. Oh, that was a mistake. I'm dizzy. She grimaces, smacking her lips. My tongue feels like I dipped in furniture wax, and there are crickets chirping in my brain. Need me to get a medic? I'll be fine. Rat can eat anything, drink anything. It'll make me stronger. She shakes her head to clear it. Now, you weren't here to drink with me, so what do you want? I should be up for a little chit-chat before I keel over. How are your rats doing? She shrugs. Madness and Folly are fine. Give them food and a place to hide, they can adapt to pretty much anything. They're kind of inspirational that way, you know? Give me something to look up to. You look up to your pet rats. She nods slowly. They're positive role models, yes. You remember who my totem is, right? I mean, seriously. I mean, capital R rat is a spirit totem. Madness and Folly are rodents that you pulled off of a dumpster. Not the same thing, Gobbet. They're close enough, and besides, I love them, so lay off. She strokes Folly's coat. The rodent chirps happily and immediately sinks its teeth into her finger. Great. They have some behavior problems sometimes, but I still... Her sentence devolves into a series of yelps and grunts as she tries to wrestle the animal's jaws open. You want some help with that? No, I'll be fine. Besides, you'll hurt her. She flicks Folly on the nose with a fingernail, and the rat finally releases her finger. Gobbet whips her hand to her mouth and sucks on the wound. See? It's all worked out in the end. If that's your takeaway, who am I to argue? No one, that's who. She takes a deep breath and thrusts her bleeding finger into a glass of alcohol on a nearby table. Now kindly steer this conversation off of my furry darlings and into something else. Distract me, so I don't have to catch Foley and wring her traitorous little neck. What'd you think of the last run? Well, we got some answers, and we didn't get killed, so that's something, I guess. Can't say I'm thrilled about being betrayed like we were, or hunted down, or any of that, but I guess that it beats being shot. If there's a silver lining to be found here, I guess it's that we know where we're going. Granted, we don't know what we'll find when we get there, but we've got a destination. That's better than nothing. Alright, gonna run. Alright, Gobbet, enjoy being bitten by your own animals. I'm gonna go talk with my other crew members and come back to the two that I've got reason to not talk to for a few minutes because one of them's busy and so on. We have anything to talk to? Because I don't think you were on the last run, were you? There's nothing to talk about. And they were not on the run. Alright. These are the two super optional characters, so they often have the least dialogue. Gaichu. Gaichu is seated cross-legged on the floor of his cabin. His sword's unsheathed in front of him. An array of tools rests nearby, and the air is thick with the scent of clove oil. The tools include a stack of small paper squares, several stones, a tiny metal pick, and a high-tech vice grip of some sort. He raises a hand in greeting as you enter. Pardon me if I do not stand, handyman. Fine as these swords may be, they require as much maintenance as any other weapon. Burrs to be sanded out, dents to be reformed, etc. The salt air here does the blade no favors. Please, make yourself at home. What's the vice grip for? It is a diamond-coated rebonder. It cannot replicate the decote process that covers the blades, but it patches spots where the diamond edge coating has worn away or become rough. The materials are rather expensive, as you may guess. Now what may I do for you? You ever think about Ishida and the rest of your team? Ishida. Sometimes. The rest, not especially. I have made a concerted effort to put it behind me and move on with my life. Gaichi's lips twist back into a grim smile. Ishida, I think about, because I wonder if he yet lives as a ghoul, or if he has been executed for his infirmity. I hope that he yet lives, and that some part of what is left of his mind recalls what he has lost. That way, he will perhaps remember how I, the inferior samurai, bested him. See that, you weren't on the last run, were you? Nope. Alright, goodbye, Gaichu. This is definitely the place... definitely sticks with the trend where the more positive or possibly good characters are on the top floor, the more negative, possibly evil, or chaotic characters on the bottom floor, and then most neutral characters are in the middle, being the protagonist and their brother. All the way down to having a color scheme of red and blue, which I took a surprisingly long time in the original playthrough to pick up on. You find Duncan pacing the small room, his thoughts elsewhere, but his reverie breaks as soon as you approach him. He looks thankful for the distraction. What's up? What do you think of the last run? Duncan grits his teeth at the question. Lamb, that fucking traitor. For all the senior inspector's planning and big promises, this task force ended up being boned just as badly as we usually do by our clients. Leaking information, switching sides, raising the stakes. I know that, as runners, it's us versus everyone else, but it's at times like these when I really feel it. He opens and closes his hands as if trying to work out all the tension in on them. We might have lost our advantage, but that's never stopped us before. Yeah, and it won't stop us now. I need to vent. Thanks for listening, Grotto. We're balls deep in this now. No way out. Alright, that's all we got there. He needs to vent about most things. He's a very angry person. That's the whole reason why he joined the force. Alright, I've given you time, Isabel. You're probably still busy, but damn it. Somehow ended up on the wrong side of the table from clicking on her. Isabel looks exasperated, her voice tense. Still busy. Make it fast. She pauses. Please? You got any plans after we finished off Crate? Definitely. She rests a loving hand on one of the terminal's many external drives. Got plenty of upgrades I need to perform on the Octopus. Gonna try converting her to a mineral oil cooling system. It's the new hotness on the boards. Boards? Homebrew computing boards on the Shadowland BBS. I frequent quite a few of them. Her lips part into a gleeful smile. The Octopus got a build of the week on Decker DIY that last month. Well, best luck with that then. As if I need luck, she scoffs. You seem like you're keeping yourself pretty busy. Do you ever get bored? She purses her lips. Only when I talk to you. Wow, she's getting oddly rude. Rude. She smiles wickedly. Can't blame me for that one. You walked right into it. I mean, maybe. Her smile drops and she's all business again. To answer your question, no. And I find it a wonder that anyone can manage to find themselves bored in the city, ever. It takes a special kind of creativeness to let yourself get bored here. The only circumstances I found tiresome are when someone dull is talking, or if I'm stuck in a job with the wrong people. Green runners, the wait in a haystack for 5 hours before we strike kind of idiots who always die in a couple of runs into the game. She shudders at the thought. 5 horrible, itchy hours lying in that haystack. I don't want to think about it anymore. You need anything else? What did you think of the last run? Isabel's eyes are cold when she looks at you. A bitterness creeps into her voice as she speaks. We saw it coming. No. We should have seen it coming. Hell, with our luck, it's a wonder that both Lamb and Q didn't turn on us. Sure, we still have the company woman on our side, but things have gotten a lot more complicated. Just for once, I wish we could be one step ahead of our enemies. She shakes her head and tosses her hands up in defeat. Oh well. Nothing but old news now. Only thing we can do is learn from it and move on. That's all we got for now. Alright. That's our possibly our last chance to catch up with the crew, unless there's an epilogue opportunity to talk to people. So next episode, we're going to be heading out to... I'll start walking there now. We're going to be meeting up with our friend. And I'm going to accidentally alt-tab out of the game, apparently. Good job, me. There's Jomo. Alright. See you guys next time, where we start the big mission at long last.